Welcome to Beyond Words. My name is Jessica. This is a place where you can listen to stories that feel close to real life, while also learning English in a calm and natural way. Here, I speak slowly and clearly so you can practice your listening skills, or try shadowing to improve your pronunciation. This podcast is best enjoyed when you're relaxing, maybe while doing the dishes, cooking, ironing, on your commute, or as you wind down before bed. You can just listen or repeat parts out loud if you want to train your speaking too. Today, I want to talk about something that many people are feeling these days, about those days when everything just feels heavy, when your energy is gone, but the world keeps asking more of you. Yes, we're talking about burnout. Something more and more people are quietly struggling with, especially lately. Have you ever felt like you haven't even started the day yet, but you're already tired? Especially after the weekend. 2 days that are supposed to be for rest, but end up filled with anxiety about Monday. You wake up and it's not even 5 in the morning. Your eyes just open on their own, no alarm needed. And the only thing that comes to mind is annoyed. Oh no, here we go again. You haven't moved, haven't showered, but your brain is already running a marathon. Work deadlines, unfinished tasks, an empty fridge, unpaid bills, and that one comment someone made last week that you thought you were over. But yeah, it still stings. A lot of people feel this way. Not because they're ungrateful, but because life these days kind of feels like it never stops asking for more. Waking up on a Monday, that alone already feels like an emotional battle. I walked to the kitchen, made coffee. Not because I wanted it, but because my body already knows the drill. My hands were moving, but my mind, completely blank. The coffee brewed. That familiar smell filled the air, but it didn't feel comforting. It just felt like part of the routine, another box to check off. I opened the curtains. The sky was still that deep pre-dawn blue. You know that moment between night and morning? Usually it feels peaceful, but that day it felt heavy, like the world was whispering, "Hurry up, you're already falling behind." I took a shower. Cold water, zero effect. It didn't wake me up. It didn't refresh me. It just happened. I got dressed, picked something safe, something I wouldn't have to think too hard about. But even with my work mode outfit on, I didn't feel ready. I felt like I was putting on a costume, pretending to be someone who had it all together. The commute was quiet. The streets were still half asleep. But in my head, it was chaos. Deadlines, notifications, random conversations replaying in my mind, worries about money, and that tiny voice inside me getting quieter and quieter. Inside my helmet, I suddenly asked myself, how long do I keep doing this? And the exhaustion? It wasn't just in my body. It was mental. It was emotional. Turns out, there's a word for that. David Ballard, a psychologist with the American Psychological Association, once said, "Burnout isn't just physical exhaustion. It's emotional fatigue and a sense of lost meaning in the work you do every day." And honestly, that describes what so many people are quietly feeling right now. We're going through the motions, but our hearts aren't in it. We're following a script that we never actually wrote ourselves. I got to the office, set my bag down, took a deep breath, and opened my laptop. It hadn't even fully loaded yet, and already, a flood of emails, work group chats, calendar reminders, and that one classic line, "Hi, Jessica, just checking in on this." I don't know why, but that sentence gives me more anxiety than a notification that says, "Your account balance is critically low." I opened the to-do list I had written the night before, still full of ambition and fake optimism. It was neatly organized, bullet-pointed, and filled with the energy of someone who swore, determined, tomorrow, I'm going to get my life together. Record a podcast, reply to all emails, yes, the ones piling up for days, finish that design project, learn some new English vocab, submit progress report, eat something healthy, become the best version of myself. Looks like a life that's on track, right? But the reality? I sat down, stared at the screen, the blinking cursor just blinked. My coffee had gone cold, and I just sat there, fingers hovering above the keyboard, but not typing a thing. It felt like my brain was saying, exhausted, I get that you want to be productive, but not today. Systems offline. And there I was, just watching time pass, feeling guilty for not having anything to show for the day. But here's the thing. It wasn't laziness. It was that quiet kind of exhaustion that comes from thinking too much while pretending everything's fine. Time kept moving. Suddenly it was 11 a.m., then 1 p.m., then 3, but I was still in the same spot. Laptop open, tasks untouched, and that blinking cursor still blinking like it was mocking me. Outside, the sun was already shifting. People were probably in meetings, chasing deadlines, posting work achievements on LinkedIn. And me? I opened my English learning app, told myself, maybe just one word today. That's enough. And the word of the day? Fatigued. I read it slowly. Fatigued, exhausted, deeply tired. And I laughed a little. Not because it was funny, but because, yeah, you nailed it, app. Thanks. It felt like the universe itself was saying, it's okay if that's all you can manage today, as long as it's honest. Eventually, the workday ended. I shut my laptop, half-cleaned my desk, and went home. Back in my room, I changed into something comfortable, collapsed onto my bed, opened Netflix, and hit play on Inside Out. Again. Yeah, it's a kid's movie, but sadness? She hits different. There's this one line where she says, crying helps me slow down and obsess over the weight of life's problems. And I hit pause, took a deep breath, and whispered it to the screen. Same, girl. Same. Funny how sometimes a cartoon understands your mental health better than the people you see every day. That night, everything outside was quiet, but inside my head, it was loud. And, as usual, instead of peace, what showed up was guilt. Guilt for not being productive, for doing nothing, for not having anything to show for the day, which is kind of funny because somehow it still felt like I'd carried 100 water gallons up the stairs, non-stop. And all I did was sit at my desk, staring at a blinking cursor. I opened my journal, wrote, today and then I froze, staring at the page, feeling like even my thoughts were buffering. I closed the notebook gently and put it beside me. And that's when the question hit me. Why do I feel so guilty just because I wasn't productive today? Maybe it's because time keeps moving. Seconds turn into minutes, minutes into hours, days into weeks, and I felt like I had nothing to show for any of it. I've had these self-upgrade goals for a while. Learn new skills, read more, wake up earlier, become the better version of myself. But every time I try to start, my brain just goes blank. I want to do this, but then I remember that. And then something else feels urgent and I end up doing none of it. It's like mental tabs opening endlessly until the system just crashes. And it didn't just happen today. It's been happening day after day, week after week, until I found myself wondering, what's really going on with me? Because the exhaustion I feel isn't just physical, it's emotional, it's heavy, and it comes with this constant pressure to do more, be more, fix more. While scrolling my phone, I came across a quote by Danielle Kepke, a writer known for her healing and gentle words. She said, "You don't always have to be improving yourself. Sometimes it's okay to just be, to breathe, to rest." And that night, those words hit me like a warm blanket, like someone giving me permission to just stop, without guilt. I whispered it to myself, like a quiet mantra before bed. I'm not lazy, I'm tired, and I deserve to rest. That night, even with 0 checkboxes ticked, I slept more peacefully, because maybe just making it through the day is enough. So yeah, that was my day. Nothing special, no big achievements, but it was real. And it was enough. If you're feeling the same way, confused, tired, stuck, please hear me when I say this. You're not weak. You're not a failure. You're just human. And humans get tired. Humans get overwhelmed. Humans need rest. But I also know we can't keep doing this forever. We can't live stuck in this same loop: burnout, guilt, shutdown, repeat. Something has to shift. Not some grand dramatic life change, but a tiny move, a quiet step forward. Maybe that means sleeping a little earlier, writing just 1 sentence in your journal, picking 1 small thing to finish tomorrow. That's still resistance. That's still growth. That's still you trying. Someone once said, healing isn't about never hurting again. It's about learning to keep going, even slowly, even shakily. So let's try. Together. Softly, but for real. Because deep down, we know we can't stay here forever. And tonight, before we sleep, let's say it together. I made it through today, and that is enough. Tomorrow, I'll try again. Thank you for listening to me ramble like this. Honestly, you're a really good listener. I'll see you in the next episode, and I hope tonight we both get to sleep a little easier, with a little peace that doesn't need to be explained to anyone. Good night.